say like money is to be circulated, not to be spent.
Flow.
Yeah, like spending money is the end of it. And when circulation is to bring back to point of origin. So when we circulate money, I'm putting it into plays or situations that's going to benefit me and my family. Like I'm going to put money into me making books because these books are going to turn into residual royalties and cash flow systems. I'm going to put money into me making courses. I'm going to put money into having a podcast because then I'm going to get ads and stuff.
Let's go.
Once again, it's the D&D Leveling Up Podcast. And if you don't know, now you know. Understand we're in the new place today.
Let's go.
Okay? Understand Quirky Media has decided to host us today. And we're so glad to be here today, man. Here with DJ Bey.
Hey.
Understand?
Serial entrepreneur, businessman, amazing strategist, marketing strategist.
Hey.
Extraordinaire. So, Mr. Bey, what are you going to tell us today? We want to kind of discuss basically what you do, how you affect the community, the Black community, the things that you do in terms of strategy, marketing. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, peace, everyone. Once again, thank you for having me again. This is my second time back. I'm DJ Bey.
Welcome back.
Formerly known as the Prince of Hemp. Now it's official Trust Fund Baby. But, yeah, like, you know, I got the whole Trust Fund Baby brand, and that's one of the main things that I've been pouring a lot of my time into is that one particular brand outside of the Capital Gains podcast. So really leveling up, like how, you know, y'all
yes, sir.
Really leveling up my financial literacy game as far as like the exposure and getting my outreach out. So I actually have a speaking engagement coming up. It's a mastermind that's out here in Miami. That'll be the 17th through the 19th. So me and a bunch of other people, we're going to have a yacht party, and we're going to be having actually a content day. My co-host, who is very well known for shooting film, y'all probably seen him walking around the podcast summit with a real big camera.
Yes, sir.
He came out with a movie camera. He actually gonna be hosting a content like a content workshop, and we're gonna have exotic cars, and everybody's gonna be filming each other, and he's gonna teach them how to, you know, like level up their content, because he does this one thing called is 30 days of content in 24 hours.
Okay.
So literally, he did it for me, and within a 4-hour period, he gave me 30 days worth of content. And if you are a content creator, you know like how hard it can be
to get content.
You feel like you have to be creative.
Yeah. And it's hard to be consistent
about social media and the way I feel about it.
Oh man. With that being said, though, favorite car.
My favorite car.
Oh, give me your top 3.
Okay. The wild thing is, I can give you 2.
Okay.
Because like we grew up, like me and my cousins, we play like Midnight Club Dub Edition.
Oh, and, you know, like, yes sir.
And stuff. So, you know, like we'll be looking at Porsches, and we'll have like the Nissan 350Zs and stuff. So you'll be like, we'll think these are cool. Then you kind of see them in real life as you become an adult. So like actual favorite car, I actually have a sports car. Okay. I really don't like low seaters like that. But I'm stuck between a McLaren and a Lamb.
Oh, I was just gonna ask you if you're a Lambo or Ferrari guy.
McLaren and a Lamb.
So the crazy thing, my tribal name is Red Horse. I really like the Ferraris. Okay. I really do. But there's just something about the Lambo. It's the
Lambo guy.
It's just so different.
Yeah,
man.
It speaks strength.
Yeah,
like the Ferrari is like real sleek. Yeah, and it's still masculine, but it's like it's super modernized, and Lamb just look like it's like it's gonna turn into a transformer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's beyond. It's always been beyond.
And then of course we gotta go to the super luxury vehicles. I actually like the crossover between like the Maybach and Mercedes Benz, but I do like the Cullinan as well.
So you driving or riding in the back of the
I don't drive. I don't like to drive. I miss actually having my driver. I've had 2 drivers. I miss having my driver. When I first came down to Miami, because of like my work level, I almost hit somebody. Oh wow! Because I'm so heavily invested into my work. I'm on my phone doing stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know how the pedestrian thing work out here, and somebody just walking in the middle of the street while it's a green light. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
almost knocked somebody's knees in, fam. So I'm like, yeah, let me find somebody to do this for me, because I much rather work than have to worry about traveling 45 minutes and being taken away from my business model. So I'm like, let me pay for somebody to move me around.
And that's a different perspective, right? Because you got to think differently in terms of like, okay, I'm working and getting certain things done, and I have certain things in place in order for me to be able to facilitate that efficiently. I don't need to be driving myself.
Yeah, I don't like disrupting my workflow. Like, y'all just seen me over here. I was doing a contract when I had my computer open.
Yeah.
Because I promised somebody by the time I got to the studio, I was going to send them everything that they needed. And I had that conversation like right before I came in here, and I was like, and I like to do that, and I don't like my tasks to stack up on me.
Yeah.
Have you always been like that, or is it something you grew into, or did you see somebody working like in that workflow and that's what you've been doing?
My OG, my mom, for real, like my pops. I gotta tell people I have like a rich dad, poor dad situation. I have a 2-father scenario. My biological father, I didn't meet him till I was 10, and my mother, it was assumed that someone else was my father this whole time. I still speak to him today. We have a great relationship. And my biological father, he actually passed like 3 years ago. So yeah, actually 3 years in September. So I appreciate it, bro. He was super cool, and we had like a 20-year relationship. He passed at like 48. So just me being able to see his lifestyle, and then also my military father, he was in and out. He was on tours. Like when I was first born, he was over in Africa. So then he came back, he doing tours in Iraq and stuff. So it was really like my mom wasn't like, she had support from the family, but she was technically like a single mother. But like I seen her crying. My mom had me at 16. She had already been double promoted and graduated by the time she had me, taking me while after she just had me, I'm going to college classes with her and stuff. So like I'm in the campus even while I'm young, while she's going through all her courses and stuff. She enlisted in the military by the time she had to be like 22. So I just watched her make clothing. She had her own clothing brand. She actually had a license to do hair. And she had her license to drive at this time. So I'm just like, I just seen how she moved, and I'm like, she always tell me, she was like, I set the precedent for how you're supposed to move. Yeah, and then she'd be like, she was like, I enlisted in the military, so you don't have to. I do all these things so you can do better for the next generation. So seeing the way she moved and the way she set up for me, I had no choice but in order to, like do better than her.
So at what point, sorry to cut you. I know you asked a question.
You're host.
It's all good.
You're host, bro.
So I'm always, we always try to keep everything cool. But anyways, at what point in you growing up, at what age you think your mind shifted? Like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. At any point, what do you
did you pop out
since he was 3?
Like, I mean,
since he was 3.
Like you say, I'm not working for anybody else. I'm working for myself, and I'm shifting my mindset. Is it because your mom kind of influenced? I know because your mom's influence was there.
I didn't want to ask nobody for money. Like all early, like my mom would be like, and it was so funny because like we don't really come from a handout family. And like my family do well. Everybody middle class, got big houses. Either they retired from the military and retired from the plant. Almost everybody. My mom retired from the military and the post office in her early 40s. My mom just turned 49.
Whoa!
Like literally August. So like yeah. So like
getting to it early.
Yeah, she's retired from the Marine Corps and the post office in her early 40s. So like just me seeing all of that, and then I got introduced to economics really early. Like stock market, 2nd grade. Like I had a firm understanding of my multiplication table, like 1st grade and all of this stuff. So by the time I moved back to Michigan, and like they'll be asking me to do chores, and then I see like other people was like getting paid to do this. I'm like, my oldest son, his godfather, his name Denzel. I believe I had told y'all about him. Like we had our first company. It was called D&D Lawn Care. 6th grade.
Yeah, we talked about that.
D&D.
Yeah, we talked about that.
6th grade. We out here busting down
D&D.
lines. That's the first time I ever got finessed. This old man made me cut his yard, and it was crazy. Me and bro, and he gave us $20, and we understood the value of our business at that period of time. So then we started to change our model. And then even then, I was getting my own money then. My mom was dating a DJ at one time, so he had a CD burner. So I go run a whole bunch of CDs, be flipping CDs at schools. One time I broke my arm playing football. They prescribed me Vicodin. Never liked pills. Never took them. Sold them to this European boy in school.
Wow.
Didn't want them. I'm like, he asked me for them. I'm like, people buy these? I'm like, here you go.
Like, oh.
I'm like,
I'm providing some type of
like,
value?
I didn't even know that it's something that you wasn't supposed to do. I'm just like, you want them? You can. I'm like, I ain't gonna take them. I'm like, I've never. So it's just, I've always had the hustle grind mentality, especially coming from Detroit. And then it got to a point when my mom she did not want me to have a job when I was going throughout school. So I went behind her back and I applied to work for this fast food restaurant. Some people may know the branch. It's called Bojangles.
Okay.
So Bojangles was like the first official application job that I ever had. I was in Jacksonville, North Carolina on a military base. My mom had just sent me back because I had gotten into an altercation in school, and I naturally straight A student. So she sent me back down south. She was like, you're going back to the military schools. And then I'm like, I want to work. I want to make more money. So I applied at Bojangles. I'm pressing these people. I'm like 15 at the time. I'm pressing them. I'm not even legally allowed to work until I'm 16. I'm up there almost every day. I'm like, yo, let me get a job. Let me get a job. So they seen how determined I was, right? Because I wanted to make some bread, and I didn't know anybody and I didn't have the materials in order to hustle the same way how I did in Michigan. So I'm like, let me go find some income. At that time, I understood how infrastructure worked. I was sick at that time. I had turned 16. I was already being trained to be a manager, just because I just wanted to move up, and I was learning their process, and I was reading their books. And only thing though, this was in a 3-month period. Somebody pissed me off. All I know is in my mind, I thought about burning that man with grease. I walked out. I just walked out of Bojangles and I never came back. I took my check and then I'm like, I got to figure something else out. So shortly after that, I moved back to Michigan. I wasn't allowed to work because my mom was not having that. I was not allowed to work. I was full-time athlete, full-time student. I was actually in choir. I was running track, playing football, wrestling, and I had to maintain my grades, and I had to look after my siblings and watch the house and stuff. So she worked at the post office. We was financially set. Retired for the military. She getting checks from the military, working at the post office. We just got a brand new big house built. I don't even think she used their VA loan for it. I don't know, but still got the house right now. That's where we stay. Well, that's our family crib. Okay. So send me off to college. I'm like, couldn't work there. That was a different situation though. And down in Florida, if you're in college, if you are not old enough or if you don't have a certain connection or a reference, it's very difficult for you to get hired like as a freshman if you just don't have the proper references. So I learned that when I was going to Cookman. So it made it difficult for me to hold my own income, even though like school was pretty much paid for. So I didn't like that. I'm like, I don't like asking for stuff. My grandma sending me Walmart cards and stuff. I'm like, you have to do things. You got to be able to move around. But so then I got into Wallet Entertainment, which is a entertainment company down at Bethune-Cookman. Okay. And homie who ran it, he actually was a Mason, so he was treating us and programming us in order to understand brotherhood and conditioning, also aspects of business. Right. So everything that I've been aligned with, from my parents to just like life has always aligned me to be just a certain way with business. And then I got knowledgeable about contract law and stuff when I was in college. I came home. I'm like, these people, I actually tried to test out. They would not let me test out of all my freshman courses. Actually, I had came with extra credits because I was doing road. These wasn't even my freshman courses. They wouldn't let me test out of some of my prereqs because I already had my credits in order to pretty much move out. Okay. I was trying to be done the first year. They wouldn't let me.
Of course. I tried to test out.
They would not let me.
I tested out a couple classes. I was super happy I got out of certain classes. I didn't have to take those courses anymore, pay for them. I was just done. Yeah. You know, so it's a good thing to be able to test out of these situations. Now
they would not let me though, so I stayed for around like 2 semesters, and then I bounced. I went back to Michigan, and then I got all the credits I needed, and I ended up falling into agriculture. And I'm like, I seen a need within my community. While I'm actually the main business I was doing, I got trained in how to do commercial residential remodeling. So I can build a whole house. I was a licensed contractor, licensed in fertilizing, everything. I can, from the sidewalk all the way to the backyard, from the basement to the roof. I can frame, I can do it all, even electrical.
Stop for a second. I'm sorry, bro. Hold on. You can build a whole house by yourself.
It will take time, but yes.
How long would it take?
If I had the materials and everything was dug out and like I could just contract certain things in, I'm like, well, with technology, right? I would cheat.
Okay.
I would cheat. It would be so much faster. Like I would do a prefab build out, and I would just do everything. But something like me doing something like that, I would possibly need close to a year in order for me to like fully. Like I'm not gonna say nothing unreasonable because like I still got a family and stuff. So, but and then I don't know. It'd probably be a little bit longer because the way I build. If it's my house.
That's what I'm saying. If it's your house, that's what I'm saying. If it's your house,
somebody because I'm gonna need help because I need a whole like 3-level basement. Like I need like vault walls. I got assets I gotta put away. I need to be able to park my cars. I need bomb shelters. I need some
bomb shelters. I
don't trust the world.
Oh, I hear you. Talking about doing things faster. What's your view on using AI for certain things, like writing a book in 30 minutes?
ChatGPT.
All of my because I don't like I was taught not to become dependent on calculators in school.
Oh,
okay.
So skip that.
No, it's like even with I still do a lot of mental work right now. Even like all of the books that I wrote, like all 16. I probably sourced some information for references, and then I didn't because I knew certain things. I didn't feel like ChatGPT was completely valid because the sources only go back so far right now. So I'm like, I can't completely bank on this in order for me to provide true value.
I got you.
So like, yeah, I would never really be dependent on a robot or like artificial intelligence system completely in order for me to be able to provide value. But I do utilize it in order to simplify my process, whether if it's me sourcing information or if it's like me asking for certain resources, that way that I can get things done differently than I have previously. Because like maybe I want somebody differently to print my book, and so maybe I'm looking for some new companies that I never knew about, or maybe like I'm looking for a different audio distribution system. So it's just being mindful that it's a reference. It's like Google on steroids. You just asking questions, but you also have to know how to prompt. But I utilize it for like for my podcast. I cheat. Description, keyword. But as far as like things that I'm giving to the world, the fact that it's sourcing it from the public, it means that other people can get this same or similar information.
Exactly.
So I don't want to be caught up being like, oh, I seen this. He didn't do this. Like, no, I did all of my stuff.
So do you think we will start seeing number one bestsellers with some of the same themes?
No, because that's not going to be possible because they already have systems in place in order to know if you are doing ChatGPT for any of your art.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So let me ask you this question.
I'm about to say they got AI that run your profile for rent right now.
What?
I know people getting denied because they getting ran through algorithms. They was like, your profile isn't thick enough. And they getting mad because the system's saying that they're not credit worthy.
Yeah.
And then they have to have a human go back and look at it and be like, oh, we don't know why I did this. And it'd be multiple reasons why.
Wow. And let me ask you a question now. I know you're very, very busy as a businessman. Just getting to you is almost like trying to get to the president. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, DJ is on his hustle all the time. Like, man, it's hard to pin you down. So like, what's the day look like for you? What's your process like during the week or just in a day? Give us like a small kind of overview.
Okay. So first thing I do, I wake up. I wake up, I grab my phone. Before I do anything. Like I look for my phone, I see if I missed anything as far as business wise. I don't even hit social media like that. Like I haven't posted the way I'm supposed to be posting right now because social media, like it's relevant, but all of my business models aren't dependent on social media to survive.
Nice.
Okay.
So sometimes, like I know some people at one point in time, I used to wake up, first thing I do is interact on social media. But yeah, I made sure I was able to remove that.
Okay.
So I check my business stuff, I see what's going, and then I go directly into my office. Sometimes I cut the TV on, I open up my laptop, and then I'm doing consultations. I'm seeing I'm seeing if everything is good with my course and my community. And then if it's not a film day, so like Fridays, all of that happened. And then nighttime, you shoot 2 episodes, and then I gotta go home and I work. Sometimes I'm up to 4 a.m. working.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and like I sleep like 4 hours, and then I wake up again because I got babies. So I can't be sleeping in. I literally got my 2-year-old. Dad, come here, like Dad, like he's not playing that. So
I hear you.
And then if not him, I have the baby.
Like he's not playing.
He'll just start crying. So it's like, and then I set the tone and the precedent that my life is 95% business.
Oh wow. Okay.
My family is a part of my business structure. I only have 5% time for leisure. So if you can't meet me in business, you can only get that 5% of me right now.
Wow.
Wow. So that's because like I'm committed to the grind.
Yeah.
I know what I want right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not willing to give that up for nobody. Because it's not even for me. It's for other people and it's for my children. Yeah. So even the women who are involved in my life, I have to tell them that. I'm like, I have 95% of my time dedicated to business. You want to kick it? Let's come kick it in business.
Let's kick it in business. Yeah.
I'm not going out. I'm not kicking it. None of that right now. I told people, if they already knew me, they've been rocking me for years. My plan is to relax in my 40s.
Yeah.
I'm in my early 30s right now. I still got a good another 7 years of hard grind before I'm even thinking about vacations. I don't think about. Somebody just asked me how often you take vacations. I'm like, vacation? I'm like, what is a vacation? I'm like, that's a break. I'm like, actually, I think it was Tanny. Tanny asked me when I take vacation.
Take vacation.
I'm like, I don't feel like I'm able to take a vacation right now.
You don't rest at all? What about those? You know,
I take naps. I go to sleep.
Do you think you're going to be restless on a vacation? How long can you? Okay, say if you had to go on a cruise.
Let's say you made yourself
you met
go
my
on a
empress,
vacation.
bro. She had to make me leave my laptop at home on a cruise, and then she would not let me pay for Wi-Fi because they know how I am. It was killing me the whole time. And I was like, and I make money, and the stuff is on autopilot, but I'm like, I could be doing more. I could be doing more. I'm like, this is like even like David Shan stuff, that sleep shit is for suckers. Yeah. Like I'm not into it, bro. Yeah. And like I have in one of my books, The Commandments versus Commerce, I have this saying in there, and I say, brakes are for B words and cars. Okay. They're not for me, man. Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, Steve Harvey say the same. Like the 20s and your 30s are for grind. Like 20s, you kind of figuring it out. 30s, you grind. And 40, you can relax. And then I feel like even that's still being gracious. Yeah. Because if you don't take care of your business now, you're not going to be able to relax. Look at how many people come into retirement. Yeah. Like my mom does all right, but she's not satisfied. She want more money. She's still doing stuff right now. Yeah. Right. And I said she's retired from the post office and the Marine Corps. These are both federal jobs. And she's still not satisfied with what she's getting from the government at this point in time of her life.
Yeah, because they don't supplement on a certain amount of money. I'm thinking about it,
it's thousands of dollars, but when you increase your lifestyle, it's not enough.
Because exactly, there's one thing. Okay, let me put this to you: save money or make more money.
Got to do both. We actually had this. We had went to a meetup. Tierney actually came and got me earlier in the week, and he took me to a meetup. And that was one of the questions because they made us do a financial evaluation. They made you list like all of your offers that you make money off of, all of the different payment systems that you use in order to collect the funds. Okay. And then also, like what cards and stuff you utilize for you to spend money. And also, what was the last thing? Pretty much everything that was coming out of your account, your miscellaneous uses and also your business uses, right? So when we got to the point and everybody seeing how they were operating and stuff, I did pretty well. Okay. I would have been disappointed in myself if I didn't as a financial individual. Exactly. So when we look back at that, it's more so you have to have a balance because the more money you make, you can't just be like, I'm not going to, you have to be more stringent in your spending because your job when you make more money is to keep it. Yeah. You can't become frivolous and just buy things for everything. That's not the way it works. You're going to end up putting yourself in a bad situation because most people who think about people who win a lottery. Yeah. They get this lump sum of money and they don't know what to do with it. Most of them end up losing it. Yeah. Because they don't have the mindset. Same mindset. They don't have the financial literacy, so they don't know where to put it. They don't know how to circulate it. They spend it. Yeah. And shout out to Reverend Ike. One of my favorite pastors. I love Reverend Mike, bro. That man had 12 Rolls Royces. God.
Now,
and his hair used to be slick, right?
Bro, you was tight, hey, but listen.
But he say like money is to be circulated, not to be spent.
Flow.
Yeah, like spending money is the end of it. And when circulation is to bring back to point of origin. So when we circulate money, I'm putting it into plays or situations that's going to benefit me and my family. Like I'm going to put money into me making books because these books are going to turn into residual royalties and cash flow systems. I'm going to put money into me making courses. I'm going to put money into having a podcast because then I'm going to get ads and stuff. We just got a sponsorship yesterday.
Okay,
Tanny really helped us.
Congrats.
Yeah, and it's a fine wine company out of Louisiana, La Saint Vins. It's very good stuff. Like the women gonna love it. I can't wait to sell it.
Can't wait to sell it.
So, bro, let me ask you this question now. This is mostly for probably the viewers. Is that if you're in debt, like you got school debt, you got all these credit card debts, how do you get out of that situation? In order to do you pay off all your debts?
What's the strategy?
What's the strategy to get out of that situation?
What's the play, man? Give us a play real quick, man.
Pay it back. So I'm gonna ask you a question based on your question.
Okay.
What is money?
Money's a monetary representation of things you can use barter with.
That's currency. What by law? What is money? By the United States Constitution, what is money?
You tell me, because I don't know.
I'm wearing money right now.
Okay, gold. You talk about gold.
Gold and silver is money.
Gold and silver. Okay.
Gold and silver by the United States Constitution is money.
Okay.
The only way in order to resolve a debt is with what? Money, right?
Right.
So if you don't have money, how can you pay for a debt?
Ooh.
I'm not the one who designed the system. I just read. So that's why I said, let me ask you a question and then we could build on it together, right?
Okay.
Right.
Cool. So with that being understood, what is the fiat dollar that we all carry? That's a form of currency.
I don't carry
fiat cash. Y'all got a bill on y'all?
No, actually, I do. I do.
Yeah, let me see one real quick. I'm gonna show you. Oh, here, Tanny. Thank you.
Oh,
okay. Got a bill.
Prompt.
Okay,
something
right here. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Legal tender. So the bills that I have money. Well, I have silver certificates. That's fiat. And on it, it says it's legal tender to be turned to bearer on demand. So I can turn in that certificate for silver. That's different than this. This is just tender, and these are considered IOUs. So when you shift these around, the crazy thing is, all right, we can do this. Perfect example. Okay, so
hold on.
Watch what? Let's do this real quick. All right, I'm gonna show y'all something. Right. Okay, so I owe you $5, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you owe him 10, right? So I'm gonna pay you. Okay. You owe him. All right, you gonna pay him?
Yeah, I'm gonna pay him the 5 that I have. That's all I have.
And then you still owe him 5.
I still owe him 5.
But where's the value? Where's the actual discharge? We're all shifting around IOUs.
Correct.
Where has it actually been taken care of? I just showed you in real time how it worked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling, right?
Yeah.
I just saw a post that was trying to explain that, like with 3 guys. He was like, man.
Exactly. That's where I got the example from.
Like, oh, you owe me 5.
It's a great example, bro.
Yeah.
But this is
it's crazy.
Yeah.
This was put in place because, it was too much to carry around all the gold and silver and exchange it.
Yeah, it was heavy,
But
right?
the thing is, the bookkeeping is still supposed to be done in order to balance the debt. And that's really what the IRS is in place for. That is the proper bookkeeping. So that's what they do for the United States. So if you are discharging or you're removing debt, you're supposed to inform the IRS of said thing. But per federal and state law, the state government and the federal government are responsible for all debts. You can look it up.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay. So how do we leverage that information?
So if you are mindful of this, I've actually had some of my peers, some of my students, they have actually just reached out to the district. They've actually just reached out to the district attorney, and they will just tell them that I'm aware that you all are responsible for all debts, and then they'll send them over the debt, and then they'll end up removing it.
Really?
I'm about to say they're public. You have to understand what
done.
these people are. They have oath of office in order to uphold the United States Constitution and the state constitution. These are public servants. They work for who? For you.
Yeah, correct.
You just don't make them.
We're not utilizing them.
No, because you're not like, you only learn civics in elementary school. Imagine if civics was an everyday experience that you had to be like very knowledgeable of. Everybody would be, we would use politicians in a whole different capacity.
Yeah. Why don't we utilize
the Secretary of State should really be your secretary. They should be shifting and sending your documents out to every other local official that you need to, because that's their job. They're the secretary for the whole state.
Why is this information is withheld from the general public? Why are we not receiving that information? What's going on?
No, it's knowledgeable. It's in the name. Secretary of State.
I feel that we just perceive it a certain way. Like everybody that we've watched has used that system a certain way.
Yeah.
And therefore that's what we're used to.
We've been conditioned not to hold our own place in politics. So we don't monetarily enforce our position in politics either.
Wow.
Because we don't back our politicians. So if you really want something to be done for you, you have to pay to play in politics. Yeah. That includes with European people and melanated people, even people in the American Indian community. You have to pay for lobbying. You have to pay for these campaigns. Show people that I've done it down in Georgia. Somebody wanted me to pay for their campaign. I'm like, tell me that you're gonna care about what my people got to do. And I had to explain to them, I'm like, I'm not necessarily, you look at me, you may think I'm just a regular so-called black person or African American. I'm like, no, I belong to the American Indian community. I'm Lenape, and my people, even though we have money set aside, like I care about that, because a lot of, even you all more than likely, I'm pretty like 99% damn sure of it, that you all have American Indian ties. Unless you have record that your family came over other ways, I'm pretty sure of it. So in my mind, I'm like, if you're not going to help me like enforce that and educate people on that, I'm not paying for you to move up in life.
That's what it is.
Makes sense. And also there's also confusing when you go to the polls and you vote as a voter. You see all the candidates there, but you don't really know. Like most people don't know exactly what they represent. No. What judges are voting at what they're voting, their actual kind of their voting.
Because it's not really made. It's not being given to the public in a very like palatable fashion. Because like I'll tell you like this: if people was running for a campaign and they broke down their stuff in an Instagram video, people would know exactly what it was they was for.
Exactly. Because it's way it's being processed. Because I remember I have a friend of mine who's actually trying to create a company where, in terms of giving people understanding of who they're actually voting for and what they actually vote for. Because we have judges who probably putting individuals in certain types of situations in our likeness, you know what I'm saying, of our kind, that are probably voting, that are putting laws in place that are not conducive for us.
Yeah, but you also have to understand, and see, that's also perspective. But see, when we talk about laws, I love this. I wrote a book called Equity versus Commerce. I got several books. I almost got a book for everything. I got a book for relationships. My girl wrote a book for veganism. Like, so if it's something I do, I gotta write a book about karate. I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna do it soon.
We know about that.
So when it comes to equity versus commerce, right? There are two sides to the world that we really deal in. There's the just and fair side, and then there's the commercial side, right? So when we talk about commercial activity, statutes and codes, the things that people presume to be laws, but these are statutes and codes, like USC Title 28, Title 42, all of these, Title 18, all of these things that people presume to be laws. These are not laws. These are codes. These are codified rules and regulations for a corporation. This is a business. This is their bylaws and their statutes on how they operate, right?
Right.
And then we have equity, which is just and fair, and that principle was established in order so that people would not be played by the commercial system. And that was established in the 1300s over in Europe, and then it was implemented over here later on because we had European bring their system over here, and it established in 1776. And then we have the United States pop up, right? So they had to bring equity along with the commercial aspect. Commerce brings money, the capitalism, marketing, merchant. That's the statutes and codes. All of that's about business. Equity is how you maintain people's sanity and salvation and how you protect their property. That's the trust and stuff. Trust falls in equity, but there's rules and regulations for how you have to deal with trust that come over into the statutes and codes. So equity and commerce actually intermix, and that's something that I'll talk about in the book, though.
Okay. What's the name of the book again?
Equity versus Commerce.
Equity versus
I actually co-authored that with one of my homies because he did very well in the equitable realm, and I've done very well in the commerce. So I always look to collab with people, and I've probably co-authored like 3 books as well. But that's one of my co-authored books. So yeah, I make sure homie get royalties off that. I send them like little payments every month.
Dope. All right, man.
Yeah, man. There's a couple of things I really want to kind of discuss with you. Now, like we said before, like you do financial literacy. If an individual needs to try to level up and get out of their situation, how do you figure? I mean, give us basically like kind of like just maybe 3 or 4 pointers that would help an individual try to get out of their situation financially. How to level up their finances.
Okay, in order to help me do this, give me an avatar. You follow David Shands, I assume. Are you familiar with the avatar concept?
No.
Okay, so an avatar is pretty much my avatar. I utilize the individual named Earl. Earl is like mid-20s, and he has a job, and he also has his own business that he's working on building out, and he has his family and stuff, and he's just average Joe, but he's looking to do more. So that's my avatar. So explain to me your avatar, and then from there on, I'll be able to build out the scenario.
Okay, so let me give you a couple of situations. Okay, I'm the avatar, 20-year-old, just came out of college, student debt, not actually working in the field that they actually work in. They're working in another field, maybe a corporate situation. The average probably black man or individual might be making what, $45,000 per year. They got maybe about 50,000.
Average 35 right now.
35 right now?
Trash.
So 35. So you can't really do anything with $35,000. But at the same time, he's got more debt than he actually makes. So say for instance, he's got about what, $50,000, $60,000 worth of school debt. And he makes $35,000 per year. He's single, no kids, not married. Has one job.
Okay.
What does he do with his money?
I got you. This is easy. Easy. I'm about to say. So, legally, anything that has your social security number attached to it, if you pull the student loan, I'm pretty sure it has your social security number attached to it. Underneath TILA, Consumer Protection Laws, Fair Credit Reporting Act, your social security number, anything attached to that can be removed from your credit because that's a violation. It's not supposed to be up there. And then also as a consumer, you have the ability in order to control whatever's being reported onto your credit. That's another thing that people don't know.
Okay.
So if you did not okay for it to be on your credit, you have the ability to have it taken off.
Okay.
So that includes student loans.
Okay.
But that does not mean that the debt has been removed. And so even this is a little...
Clarify.
Yeah, this is a little tidbit for all these people who think that they do credit repair.
Okay.
So if you're just dealing with the credit bureaus, which are nothing more than corporations, they're just fictitious and they don't have no government contracts or anything like that. So if you're dealing with them, you can get it off of the report. But if you're not communicating with the actual creditor, you still can be held liable for the debt. So that's the reason why the way I structure out my letters, they're usually based on finding the fraud in the contract. That way, because if it's fraud present, we can void the whole contract.
Yeah.
So you can, same thing that you can use in order to get your stuff off of the credit report, you can also send it over to student loan companies and things like that. And you can actually challenge these contracts. Because if they've securitized this debt and they've done these other things, you can also inform the IRS of these type of transactions. Put them in a difficult situation. You can make them remove it. That's just one aspect. We spoke about it on one of the other podcasts, utilizing apps like Kickoff in order to have your rent reporting.
Okay.
Utilizing things like Self-Lender. Self-Lender used to have a CD, but then they turned it into a credit card that you pay into, and then it turns into a revolving account for your credit. So once you get all of these negative things off of your credit, being able to build it in a timely manner, I actually recommend that people apply for these same things while they are taking other stuff off because you want it to be aged and you want it to be, you know, building out. And then you have the ability to pay for a trade line. You can look for good trade lines online, multiple websites, so you can just apply one. If you have family members with good credit, ask them for an authorized user. And as long as they know that you're responsible and respectful, tell them that you don't even need the credit card. Just be like, I want you to put me down as an AU. I don't need your credit card. I just need to have your credit for a certain period of time so that I can put myself in a better financial situation. And if you articulate it like that, they'll probably be more willing in order to help, because you're not asking for no money. You're just asking for them to extend credit over to them, and it's not going to hurt them at all as long as you don't get access to their credit card, because
then you have access to do things.
Then you got
because I know
got a
people
couple
done
issues.
that and it's went pretty bad.
And that's what people are afraid of, though. I think that's the whole trust factor. And even in our community is we want the money to circulate, but then there's not really a strong trust factor in terms of like trying to build things together. That's
money don't make money. If you're not willing to collab, you're gonna fail. That's just the way it works. Like even you have to be willing to trust people in order to hire them into your business model. You have to be willing to just be open, or otherwise you're not gonna be able to grow. So if you refuse to even trust people within your own community, to some extent, that explains why we are where we are as a people.
Do you think, let me ask you a question. Do you think that there's any possible way we actually can get out of this mindset and actually start getting money circulating in our culture? Or you think it's moving any way? Because, you know, I have talked to somebody who's like, oh yeah, black people are doing well. I'm like,
they're doing all right.
They're doing well, but and in comparison to what?
I'm about to say, for people who call themselves crayon colors, they are doing okay. And I know how that sounds, but if you understand, because I'm here talking about law, like this is life, like this is what we deal with. If you classify yourself as a less than or a subclass entity, which black means in law, and also you have to realize everybody in the world got a nationality except for the only people that want to be called a crayon color.
Wow. That's dope.
That's true.
That's true. But bro, let me ask you this. I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, you think about when black people were here in this country, right? And versus Caucasian white people, right? They have a certain level of a step up financially because of what's created. Everything in this country is based on cotton, textiles, right? So isn't that
you're saying Europeans have a step up because of the industry that's established here?
Correct.
The commercial industry?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you right now why that is not valid. That is only present because people have not educated themselves properly. Because there is set aside money for minority businesses. There's set aside money for American Indians. And like I said, if people become knowledgeable of who they are, they for sure can tap into that. I'm an example of that as well. Because like my family are documented chiefs. They signed treaties with the United States. So these are things that me and my children and the rest of my family receive benefits for. And then even the aspect of being knowledgeable of government contracting. There are billions of dollars set aside for people to do financially well. Billions. Everybody has the ability to government contract. So
that's not an excuse, basically, what you're saying. But I'm talking about people who are talking about historically. They're saying, well, black people only have a certain amount of time that they could have been financially stacking their money at a certain period of time when they didn't have the opportunity.
No, I'm about to say there's no timeline on when you can government contract. It's just about you putting yourself in a position where you can leverage.
Yeah,
because
now
look at social media. I'm about to say even back then, people talk about Black Wall Street. Y'all familiar with the Gap Band, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all Gap, GAP, Greenwood, Archer, Pine, right? That's the cross sections from Black Wall Street.
Okay.
That's what the Gap Band means. You dropped the bomb on me, baby.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the whole concept. A lot of people don't know that whole group of people, that's not so-called Black or African Americans. Those are Muskogee Creek American Indians. They own oil. So when people talk about we're not in certain situations, you don't even know the full history of the situation to even articulate it like that.
Wow.
Because these were wealthy people. And it's still people in that land today in Oklahoma who still benefit from that same said wealth. They just split half of Oklahoma and half in the Indian land.
Wow. That is dope, bro. So so with the mindset you have to get to the places that you've gotten to, how does, like, even if we took another individual avatar, a gentleman, he's got a wife, He's got 2 kids. He's got a mortgage. Him and his wife combine $100,000 a year mostly, but most of that money is going to insurance. It's going to the kids. The kids are young, so of course they're in daycare, taking care of them. They haven't even started saving at all because
living paycheck to paycheck.
They got both 2 car payments, 2 insurances. They got situations with their house. They might have to pay and repair the roof. Situation where, so how do they get out of that situation, or how you leverage situations where you can get financially help?
Kind of go back to the question you asked me earlier. Is it like, are you gonna make more money? Are you gonna save more?
Correct.
Situation. You in a situation like that, you have to make more money because like you really can't afford to downsize your bills because everything sounds like it's a necessity at this time.
Right.
You need the child care because you have to work.
Yeah.
You have to pay for these other things in order to entertain the children. They need extracurriculars.
So you got to level it up.
You have to. And then at that point, you have to look inside of yourself, and you and your spouse got to sit down and have a conversation and be like, what products or services can we offer to the world that we can then move and provide? Or what affiliate programs can we get into that we can leverage and be able to put some more money into our situation? What investments can we take $5-10 a week from and then roll money into compound interest over into? Like, these are the type of conversations you have to have within your household, or otherwise you have to realize you become satisfied and struggle. That's what that is.
Wow.
Satisfaction and struggle.
Comfortable.
Comfortable where you're at.
It's still paycheck to paycheck is a struggle.
That's not a struggle. It's stress.
When we established society, it was never in the founding fathers' mind, whether if it was the ones that established the United States Constitution, whether if it was my grandparents, for people to have to slave on an everyday just in order for them to pay for them to go to sleep. You understand?
Ooh, paying to go to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what happened. You're paying to lay your head down every night because which one of us in our house right now? Right. We if you do business, unless you running a business out your crib, you're paying to go to sleep. So how much is it costing you to sleep every night?
Yeah.
It's like a little bit over $100 for me every night.
Wow. Think about it. Like
Imagine that if you rent a hotel at that price every night. How that add up?
Yeah.
That's just the sleep. That's not including the air, the Wi-Fi.
That's how I think about it. That's how I always thought about renting versus owning.
Yeah.
In that situation, I was like, you're paying, like I'm paying.
Yeah.
I had an apartment at one point, and I just did the math. It was like $18,000 for the year. I was like, I'm paying $18,000.
I missed some numbers. Good God.
Remember
them was Michigan numbers for me.
Because you know what? They say that renting actually, you save more money renting, and you can also, of course, get up.
No.
I mean,
that's the thing. Like,
not in this society.
That's what I'm saying.
You better off in Florida? You're better off being locked in a mortgage than renting out here. I know people who have large houses who are locked in at like $1,700, like $1,500
locked in.
Yeah, fixed rate. Yeah.
But even still, like, you have the ability to go to negotiate. Like my car, I'm about to say, I'm like, my car note for my car, $150 a month, 2019, because I'm not gonna let nobody play me. And then even then, I know how to get out of the car note, but it's good on the credit.
It's good on the credit.
It's something for you to leverage.
It's a decent revolving account, and until I get my data furnishing contract in place, I'm gonna leave it on there.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, a data furnisher is the individual who actually creates the trade lines.
Oh, okay.
So you create the trade lines and you send them over to the credit bureaus and then they put them on other people's stuff. So that's a back end contract that I'm working on right now.
We got to get with you, man, on some other stuff, bro. We got to get so
with you on this.
Bro. So how can an individual get with you in order for you to I know you do consultations.
Yes.
Where do you do your consultations at?
So actually, I do video consults, and I also do phone consults. My phone number is public. I tell people all the time I've been utilizing the same number. It's since almost 7 years. 248-325-8702. It is a Google Voice number, and so once again, 248-325.
Get that, people.
8702. But you can also find me at djbey.com, and on social media, everything is pretty much Trust Fund Baby. But on Instagram, it's official Trust Fund Baby. So that's where they have me at right now, and I'm flexible. I'm always open to help people and communicate and help somebody scale their brand.
Yeah.
But my prices went up because
because you know your value.
I provide results. I'm like, if you talk to me, even like I provide so much free information. So even just being on a paid phone call with me, I always make sure that first off, whatever you call that you're trying to get from me, you're going to leave with that at the end of the call. And then whatever service that you're trying to get from me, I always do my best in order to make sure I provide that plus some. So even like people in my mastermind, I give them so much information. I know they can't read it all. Yeah. I'm just going to be like, this is the price point here. This is what I feel like it's worth, even though I know what I gave you. It's way more than that. But I just like, that's just me. I like crushing the competition, and people feel like they can do what I do, but they can't do it the way I do it.
There you go, man. That's why I tell Dirk all the time. I say, man, look, we have to provide so much. You shouldn't be able to run out. Of value or content of things for them to actually have to go
access. That's why I got 40 offers.
You can't.
You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to find. You should be able to have the access to the information that's valuable to somebody else, because somebody else is producing it.
Well, Tanny wants to know if he can get his $5 back.
No.
I think Tandy, you gave it to him. He asked you for it. You gave it to him. Did he ask you? Okay, the question is, did he ask you to borrow, or did he ask you for it?
Actually,
and is it really here?
I said, who got $5?
Is it actually $5?
Who got it?
Technically, this is not $5.
Has $5.
This is not $5.
It just disappeared.
This is 9.6 grams of paper.
Technically.
$5 is 5 silver coins. I got some silver on me too.
Let me see.
It's in my bag of course.
I
always got it though. I do have it. Like if you pass me my book bag, I'll show y'all. I always got silver. I make sure I always got real money.
It might cost you $5 to get that book back.
It costs you to look.
I don't know. I think this is my rental fee.
Yo,
I'm gonna keep this though. Let me slap this in here.
This has been one of those moments in time where I remember when we was at the podcast summit recently. Yeah. And they were talking about not calling it a podcast. Yeah. But calling it an experience. Yeah. And this has been an experience for me. Yeah. The information, the wealth of knowledge that we've gotten today.
Yeah. You can't tap. It's almost like, I feel like I can't tap into everything DJ Bey says. Like he has so much stuff going on. Like it's like I see all these components. I'm like, he's got a wealth of information here, and here, and here. And it's I can understand why people have to consult with you. I'm like,
imagine making a podcast out of it.
Exactly. Oh, man. It's already mind blowing. I'm trying to process this, and he's gone over to here, and then you go over there, and I'm like, bro, like I'm trying to get this in my head first.
It's so much, and all the parts overlap and working to each other. Whether or not if we're talking about banking, or if we're talking about credit, we're talking about taxes, or if we're talking about trust law. The laws themselves, equity, all of these things have a place and they interlap into one another. So it's not like you can just leave it out of place. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. You were gonna say something.
No.
Yeah, to me, it's like just the fact of like trying to process all the information that you kind of like what you touched on, because there's so many different aspects that can help an individual, in terms of money, finances. Can you name some of your books?
Oh, okay. The Commandments of Commerce, Within the Mound, the Erie Indian Mound Builder book. I co-authored that with Dr. Dancing Owl from Berkeley. And then we have GPO, Genetically Purified Organisms, Indigenous Growing Practice, Game Face, an American Story, the End of Prohibition on Cannabis. And then we have the Metaverse book. We have the Cryptocurrency book. We have the Dow book. Oh my God! I feel like I'm missing a couple. I know I'm missing a couple. Uh-huh. Yeah, but it's we got the credit book, the business building book. We also have a book on how to get funded. I'm like, if it's something that's tangible, I shrink it down and I create it in like a palatable information that like somebody can utilize and pass on to somebody else. So if I'm knowledgeable in it, I pretty much made a book about it. Or if it's one of my life experiences, because like the Game Face, that's about my federal research and development company for cannabis.
Okay.
So that's about the story how I got how everything that happened with the legal cases and all of that stuff, and how it got to me, and then the direction that it's going in now. The book is actually I got a great reviews on it, and somebody actually asked me if I wanted to make it into a film.
Okay,
I'm like, it seemed like it needs to be more of a series.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get Curtis Jackson. Yeah,
Curtis Jackson.
I need him to
produce it.
I need Curtis. That's the only one.
Okay. Cause you want to get that power type of look.
It's cannabis. It's cannabis. I need Curtis. I need Curtis. That's the only way I'm gonna do it.
So
somebody got to give me Curtis.
So if he's gonna produce it, who are gonna be the actors? I mean, who are we gonna choose as the cast?
Hey, I'm about to say, I guess plenty of them. Like, there's a lot of people around.
Okay,
but even that, like, that's one of the great benefits of like networking, because my co-host, he actually works in production. So
okay,
we actually can set and create a pilot and like build something out, send it over to those industries, and then see where we end up landing.
Man, how do you have all the time to do this, bro?
You make it, because if you want it, you gonna go after it.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I'm willing to sacrifice sleep.
I got you. So now, do you actually slate out, like put in like bullet points the things you're gonna do in your schedule?
Or you have if like I show you my book bag, I got like 2 notepads with just notes of things I gotta do. I got notes on my phone. I got Trellos. I got big dry erase boards at my house. If I write it down that way that I can commit it to memory, and then it also helps me to understand how productive I'm being when I can go back and scratch it out. Like, I did that. Even if it take me 2-3 days to go back and look at the notepad, sometimes I've already completed the task, and then I'll just like, good, like I'm on point. So like that's really how I condition myself to move.
You think the martial arts affected your discipline in your business?
That my parents beating me,
or your parents, or your parents really?
They Marines.
Okay, so
discipline
that
was real in my household. Like when I used to get in trouble, like my father used to make me do the arms out, and I have to do the circles. He said lawyers used to do it. I used to have to hold books.
Oh wow!
Against the wall. I could do over 100 push-ups in elementary school. So between the PT and pretty much just like having military parents, because I didn't get into martial arts until I was like 22.
Oh wow!
I got my world record at like 23.
Oh wow, man!
Wow!
I thought you was like doing it from like since you were a kid.
He had me boxing when I was younger though.
Okay. I know you had something.
Discipline within my household, discipline from my family, and then just understanding where we come from and what my family name mean, and understanding that I'm a reflection of that.
So one last question that I have, anyways. I know you wrote a book, or did your wife write a book, or whom did you?
Both. I'm about to say which one.
On book? What?
On relationships.
No, that's me. That's
you. Okay, on relationships.
Yeah, because I'm like she kind of reserved. Like I'm the one who talk about like my relationship experiences.
So in picking, you're trying to do business. We're individuals. I'm a single man. D is married. And, when you're thinking about picking a spouse that falls in line with your focus, how do you pick that individual, or pick an individual even just as a partner?
Hell, you should have been looking for women at the podcast.
That's what I told him. That was a spite. That was a space.
For real. It was some very fine women there. Older women, younger women.
Business, though. Yeah,
and they own business.
They
right?
own their business.
Them the ones you want.
They're the ones that's looking around saying, all of these men here they was like, about business.
Yeah.
I seen one woman snatch up a Babalawo, a E5 priest. She's like, you my husband. He already married, but he polygamous. So,
okay.
But even still, like people, they was out there trying to be chose. They wanted to be.
What?
They wanted to be chose.
Big time. I tried to tell Dirk, bro, stop waiting.
Key example.
Hey, don't put it out there, because now we're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff coming out this way.
I'm about to say,
he just said he's single. He's ready and available.
I ain't saying no names, but if you see this guy, he's ready.
I had an older woman walk up on me at the podcast summit.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was very interesting. It was very intense.
How did you handle that?
Very.
She was very aggressive.
Yeah, very, very.
They got to be aggressive.
They got to be aggressive.
And she was just like, "You gonna cut my grass, young man?" type energy.
What?
Like,
better have a PS.
Parker?
Better have a PS5 in store.
Bro, that's like
you was gonna be the pool boy real quick.
But it was so like in closing statements, the best thing I can tell you if you're looking for a partner. Like, sometimes you don't need a partner that does exactly what you do, because then that can create competition within your household. Sometimes you need balance.
Yeah.
Because my partner doesn't do everything that I do, but she creates balance for me.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So it really, everything is an a la carte situation, but for sure, find somebody who supports what you do.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Because she supports me in everything I do. She watches my podcast. She know all this stuff I be talking to y'all about. She know it. She hear it. She been hearing it for years. She implements it. So like she clearly supports what I do, but she doesn't have to be an active enrolled partner in it because like it may not be for her. What's for her is what's for her. Everybody got their own pattern.
But what qualities did you see in her that you felt like would determine that would be? It was just through time, or you just kind of?
I'm gonna say we've been rocking for a long time, but I already knew that she was a solid individual because I always seen her take care of her business. So like even like she been doing my hair since high school. She came up doing hair, so she was running her hair business. She kept employment. She kept cars.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're about your business.
Yeah.
But you're about your business in that aspect. It doesn't have to be about my business.
Yeah.
Because my business is different, and that's what I paid attention to.
Okay. Dope, man. DJ Bey, man.
DJ Bey once again, man. D&D Leveling Up Podcast.
I'm over here holding on this $5.
Hey, man, that $5, that's a powerful $5 that we can't pass it back.
Got something on it.
See, that's what happens when you share experience.
Share experiences. Woo!
Let's go. It's the D&D Leveling Up Podcast. And if you don't know, now you know. Understand? We're going to check y'all later, man. Peace.
Deuces.
Great.